The thrill of the chase is over. The thrill of the chase is done. You got your guy, UNC. The courtship, I'm sure, was exhilarating. The flirting, the batting your eyes at each other from across the bar, the love letters written in hidden times, I'm sure it was a blast. But now it's day one. Belichick, UNC, head coach, got to get to work. And some out there don't think this is a forever agreement, right? He's in his 70s. Some people think this is a short-term deal. Ryan McGee of ESPN was on with Unsportsmanlike, which is the morning show you hear every morning here on 99.9 The Fan. And that's basically exactly what Ryan said.
He's out in 2 years. I think even if he wins, I think he's out at the most. He signed a 5-year deal. I think he gets maybe over the halfway point. To me, this is about him, going into this new frontier. It's also about him setting up the future for his son. Stephen Belichick, who's been the defensive coordinator at Washington, everyone in Chapel Hill that I know is telling me that they won't call it head coach in waiting because that's poison. That term that has never worked out anywhere. But he's setting it up for his son for the potential future. And so I think it's a couple of years at most.
That's not how Bill made it sound yesterday.
Not at all, and he shouldn't. And by the way, there's a lot of inferring there from Ryan McGee. There's a lot of I think, but that's part of it, right? Is when you're at that age, no one's going to expect you to be there for the next 10 years. It's sometime less than that. How much less? We'll see. So because of that, you don't have we'll take 1 year to get acquainted with the college game, and then the second year we'll really go for it. It has to be guns blazing, pedal to the floor, all out, full steam ahead, day one. So what should Belichick be doing today? Well, first of all, executing whatever plan you sold them on, right? Whether there was the 400-page document that was rumored or not, you better have had a plan. You better have sold them on a plan. And that jumps right into this, evaluating the current roster. Who's coming back, and do you like them at their position? If not, option number 2, reaching out to players in the portal. Right, if you look at the roster and you say, hey, we have good edge rushers, or hey, we have good tight ends, then you don't have to go to the portal to those positions first. But if you watch and you go, I don't think we have a college power conference level tackle, I'm just random positions, then that's where you better go. Evaluate the roster, number 1, reaching out to players in the portal, number 2, putting together your staff, number 3, to help you do all of this, and then setting high school targets. You could worry about decorating the office later. Because there's maybe the most basic thing about Bill Belichick at UNC needs to be reminded. Bill Belichick is the most famous football coach in college football right now. He's the most famous football coach of any kind in the state of North Carolina. He's one of the most famous football coaches of all time. But as of right now, he is still a college football coach. And he still has to do the things that a college football coach does. He doesn't have any magical pixie dust that he can sprinkle over a roster and turn them into a winning level of talent. You're Bill Belichick. Woo! Now go get better players and coaches. The difference between UNC not winning as much as they should last year or the last 5 years and winning as much as they should next year, the difference. Sure, your scheme can help and calling plays at the right time can help. The difference is going to be, do you get more talent on your coaching staff and on your roster?
I mean, you said it best with all the accolades that you just mentioned. Belichick is a master strategist. I'm not surprising anybody when I say this, but it's his no-nonsense, do-your-job philosophy going to resonate with 18 to 22-year-olds when he goes into his first recruit's house, if he even does it at all. I could see this where he just sends out a staff, and it's almost like the opposite of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where they go and deliver the golden ticket to a high school player, and then they come to the Chocolate Factory, a.k.a. Chapel Hill, and meet Willy Wonka. That was a crazy analogy.
I'm with it. I think I stuck with it. The thing that I'm most focused on, though, is the do your job thing is nice. And it worked, and it became a thing. The Patriot way, which I'm sure he'll turn into the Tar Heel way, it's nice, and it's great for a T-shirt, and it's great to end meetings with. But if you have people that know all of your slogans and work hard, but they run 5 flat 40s, you're not going to win, right? There is an element of you have to get the talent there. It's the same thing with Deion Sanders, okay? Because Deion Sanders was another outside-the-box college football coach. He is famous. He is charismatic. He does things differently. He obviously has created a different experience for his players in Colorado than at other places. But if he didn't have Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, it would not have worked. If he didn't have Jimmy Horn and some of these other very, very talented players, you would have just had a group that was brash, that was not worried about what everyone else was doing, that lost. You have to go get the dudes. You have to go get the assistants. So yesterday, with the introductory press conference and everybody from all the national media being in attendance and FS1 and ESPN and ACC Network and NFL Network and this station and stations, radio stations up in Boston, everybody cut in and took the press conference live. Yesterday was all about the whoa. Today has to be all about the work. And tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Bill Belichick is reportedly still going to do his Manning cast hits. He's still going to be on with Pat McAfee once a week. Those portions of the week can be about fame and be about buzz and be about publicity. But you also still have to knock out of the park the things that Bill Belichick has knocked out of the park in the past. I'm so tired of people that are like, oh, is it Brady or Belichick? I have a very boring answer to that question. I think the offense was Brady. I think the defense was Belichick. And if you look at their Super Bowls, the first 3 they won, Brady had to do darn near nothing but protect the football. Those are Belichick's. The last 3 Super Bowls they won, they were slinging it all over the yard. Those are Brady's. That's the way I look at it. But you know what the truth of the matter is? Bill Belichick was the guy that evaluated his staff and picked Tom Brady over Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe had a $100 million contract. Tom Brady was a nobody, and Bill Belichick rolled with Brady. Getting the football question right is the thing that led to everything else. Getting the football question right. We don't know about do your job. We don't know about the Patriot way. We don't know about any tell the truth Tuesdays. We don't know the truth about or we don't know the behind the scenes on anything that Bill Belichick goes through if he doesn't have great football decisions. Trading for Randy Moss. They got him for a 4th. That's because they recognize something. Drafting a Kent State quarterback in, the 7th round. That's Julian Edelman. Right? The football questions he got right. That's what he has to do now for UNC. Put in the time, put in the evaluation, get the right players, the right coaches. And then once you have the talent on the roster, sure, give them all a notebook that says, do your job on it and a T-shirt that motivates them.
Developing 4 stars and maybe even some 3 stars that are just lost in the weeds of the recruiting class and turn them into 5-star caliber players.
And along the lines of what everybody is telling me is going to go wrong, I do agree. For all of you naysayers out there, there are certain 18 to 24-year-olds that would not respond well to Bill Belichick coaching them hard, which is what he's going to do. I don't see him changing now and suddenly being a player's coach. Part of the recruiting process for them is figuring out which guys can take the heat. He is going to yell. He is going to scream. He is going to, put up bad plays on film in front of the entire team. He is going to do that. He is going to tell you, right, the joke up there in New England was that he would tell you that the defensive end from Foxborough High School can make this play, but our $10 million defensive end can't make the play. He's gonna pick a high school nearby in Chapel Hill, and he's gonna say those things. You got to find the guys that can take the heat. Got to find the 19-year-olds that won't crumble. It's part of the recruiting process. But my overall point here is Bill Belichick is a college football coach now. If he doesn't do the things that make you a good college football coach, he will not be a good college football coach. And no matter how much you build out all the extremities, the core is the same. Get good players on campus, have them coached by good coaches, and everything else, that's gravy. That's icing.